Ready? Play.
Okay, we're live. Hello, everybody. Welcome to this watch along of the first women's quarterfinal of the day. I should say third in the main draw between Qinwen Zheng and Aryna Sabalenka. I have with me Damien to go progress through this match with. Looks like a pretty exciting matchup on paper. I don't think they have played each other yet. They haven't. So yeah, it is pretty fascinating to see how this match will unfold. So how are we doing today, David?
I'm doing fine. Pretty excited about this, although I am kind of afraid that it's gonna be lopsided.
Uh,
Yesterday was a pretty scarring day
mhm.
in terms of the singles matches before Shelton Tiafoe being just pretty awful to watch, and I
Yeah,
hope
six
today is
love,
not a
six
repeat of
two,
that.
and 6-love, 6-3. So not really inspiring scorelines really. And,
There is some potential today for this as well.
mhm,
Um, hopefully it's not gonna start like yesterday. I don't think it could be this bad. But
mhm,
I don't really like the matchup for Zheng on paper. I
mhm.
wish I hope it's not gonna be like that. I hope this is gonna be like the true match when we see all her progress and the fact that she is about to figure it out. She is about to like put her game together. I hope it is like that. uh you know i I just think it should be like at least competitive for us to say that.
Yeah.
Whereas she generally, I think, tends to have pretty bad matchups against like other power hitters. I can, for example, come up with that Samsonova matchup, which I think works somewhat similarly. At least I think it will work somewhat similarly because, as you said, they haven't played, and she had some real struggles there. So my expectations are not high. Although I obviously consider her a player with extreme, amazing potential.
Right. It's also worth noting that Aryna Sabalenka is undefeated in Grand Slam quarterfinals. I think, yeah. How does that factor into this? I don't know. It's just probably a
And
uh,
then she probably has a very poor record in the semis, right? So I don't think
semis.
it
Yeah, I mean,
matters
she's
all that
won
much. Yeah,
one and lost several of them. I think two at the U.S. Open, two at Wimbledon, and one at Roland Garros. So yeah, she's
the
won
French.
one for, yeah, five losses and one win. Um, and I mean, again, it remains to be seen how what kind of effect being the heavy favorite left in the draw, so to speak, would have on her, because we know what happened a couple of years ago when it was a golden opportunity for her to win her maiden slam and maiden US Open title. She fell short against Leila Fernandez in the semifinal in three set. Uh, and yeah, every semifinal that she's lost has been in three sets, if I'm not mistaken. So maybe we don't want to get too ahead of ourselves. Maybe Qinwen is something that we don't know that she has in her bag for today. But in any case, I think it's safe to say that Sabalenka, from the players left in the draw, she should be the heavy favorite to come through. Has she dropped a set yet? I don't think so, right?
Sabalenka, no, no, no.
Yeah, Sabalenka has not dropped a set yet. I don't think so. But
Yeah, and you're right that all her semifinals were lost in three sets. Not that it really changes anything for today, I guess. But yeah, you're right
yeah,
about that.
yeah, and a
Um,
couple of them you should have argued that she should have won. I mean, you can argue that she should have won. The one
yeah,
against
yeah,
Keith
for sure.
last year, the one against Ons. I mean, set in a breakup, wasn't really a reason for her to lose from that position. She did. Uh,
Mukova.
Mugova, oh yeah, match point up, of course. So, and the one against Pliskova, I guess she was just outplayed, right? I don't know if she was. I can't remember if she was in a position where she should have.
Yeah, me neither. Me neither. Yeah. She won the first set for sure, but later I can't remember really what how the
Yeah.
sets were going. Hello, Jake. And yeah, for Qinwen, it's also like the first Grand Slam quarterfinal. That's why we're sort of hoping that this is the moment when the real deal turns into like a true top player. I don't know if
Mhm.
it's the case. Her draw until the forefront was an absolute cakewalk. She almost made a mess of it, and then
Mhm.
Jabeur was like not 100% in the forefront. So I am not really sure if she's really arrived yet. It's maybe we're going to have to wait at least some more time, but it's still good for her to make the quarters, given that her like her record at the slams generally has been rather poor, and maybe she has been reaching like second, third rounds pretty consistently. It's just that she was losing matches that I guess we considered her heavy favorite, and also maybe sometimes to players that definitely don't have that sort of same explosive potential.
Yep, that's true. And of course, you would want, if you're a Qinwen, you want matches like this, right? I mean, we remember her match
Yeah.
against Eva last year at RG. The only player to really take a set off her in that campaign was in the fourth round. Yeah, it was the first set in the tiebreaker. I remember that pretty clearly because she blitzed through everyone else, if memory serves right. From she was doing that since I would say Miami all the way to her RG triumph. I mean, no one really was challenging her, and then when Qinwen took that first set, everyone sort of busted out life jackets, wondering, oh, could this be a huge upset? Turns out it wasn't. So yeah, more matches like this, of course, definitely going to help her in her young career. Hello there, Jake. Nice to see you. Damien, it must be Shatter. I don't know what he's referring to.
Why?
Yeah, good question. Why? Right. I guess. I don't know. Was there a match? Was there any match in particular yesterday? I mean, I can't think of.
I'm
Well,
excited to learn the answer now. I have the
probably has to do with
pre-match
Ida
interview.
dropping her number one ranking. I don't know.
I don't think so. Okay. That wasn't all that late. It was like what was it? When did Tiafoe Shelton finish? It was like 6 a.m. for me, I think, and then I slept until 11 a.m. So it's fine. I also had a nap before that match. I actually slept through Kirsta Muchova. So I have the pre-match interviews on my screen now, but obviously the players are not saying anything interesting in them.
Right. Yeah, I mean, it's usually. I remember I would only watch them and they usually would do them either before a high-profile matchup, no matter which round it is in, or before the semis or finals. I mean, watching them back in the day of Djokovic and Nadal, or Federer and Djokovic, that would give me goosebumps. I mean, I remember watching one. Um, Even this year was, I think, Djokovic and Tsitsipas. There was a sort of a mini feature film in the final that just wasn't. I was like, yeah, like, because for me personally, not to sound haughty in any way, but I just thought that was in a way a foregone conclusion. I just didn't see any scenario where Tsitsipas beats Djokovic there. So, but then it always helps to hype up that matchup, I guess.
Yeah, I guess it's been a while since there was a match that really like gave me, goosebumps before it happened or something. It's pretty rare. Djokovic, Nadal, I'm bored of.
Yeah, I get that. I mean, for me, I think that would be the Wimbledon final. I was pretty pumped for that.
Yeah.
Brewer, and also, which was the other one? Yeah, the RG semis, of course.
Yeah, that was big. Yes, that was big.
Yeah.
For sure. But yeah, Alcaraz Djokovic in general, it seems,
Yeah,
is the matchup right now.
Yeah, it is. I mean, we just wonder. I mean, they are in a way. I don't know if they're under threat of not facing each other in the final. I don't know what Zverev's going to bring. Honestly, like I know that he can do some things that can jump. Yeah,
I
it's
don't see it.
different Alcaraz from when they met at RG last year. Different Zverev to an extent too. I think he's still sort of making his climb back up. But by the way, he's going to be back in the top 10 as a result of Tiafoe losing.
I think
But
Zverev is doing fine. Like I think I called it like a peak adjacent level on one of these streams, and for
right.
me he's not that far removed of his level before the injury, but I just don't think he has it for Alcaraz win, especially after that thriller that he gave
Yeah,
Sinner. I think that took a lot out of him probably, and yeah, he did not look like a guy who will be beating Carlos Alcaraz in 2 days' time. But yeah, by the way, of course, guys, we're gonna have like streaming for every match today, including Alcaraz Zverev. Alcaraz Zverev is gonna be me and John, so feel
yeah, we
invited to
don't know
join.
if we have it for Medvedev and Rublev yet. We'll have to see. Or I don't know if
Yeah, that one I know that there's some issues with that one, so maybe Medvedev Zverev we will be skipping, but I know Keith Vondrousova is definitely gonna be there, and I'm on the team for Alcaraz Zverev as well. Yeah, on the women's side, maybe a match that would really get us going like this would have been the final between Sabalenka and Swiatek, right? Number one
Yeah,
ranking on the
I
line.
mean, yeah, Aryna
Um,
mentioned that she would have loved to have a crack at Swiatek herself
mhm.
for the U.S. Open title in the number one ranking. This felt little anticlimactic, but I mean, at some point, it just felt like it was only a matter of time when Aryna Sabalenka was obviously, winning a couple of those big titles, Australian Open, Madrid, and Iga was. I mean, she just didn't defend all of her points. She's won only one big title so far. That was, she did well to defend her RG title, and she won Stuttgart, which was a 500. And yeah, Rome again. She was pretty unfortunate because she was dominating Rybakina, and then we know what happened
Yeah.
there. Um, but
But as you're saying, like there was a moment when it seemed like Sabalenka has to get to number one at some point. But by the time we actually reached the U.S. Open swing, we actually arrived at a situation where it was, feasible that maybe she doesn't get there at all this year.
yeah, because yeah, we accepted that scenario also, but then part of me also thought like there's nothing telling me that Iga is probably the heavy favorite for this US Open. I mean, she's for me, she's always for a very long time going to be the favorite at RG. She's already won three titles there. And yeah, it's just I don't think there's anybody who is on her level on clay at the moment on the women's tour, but um yeah, and when came to US Open, it was just kind of a similar case last year. I don't think she made. I think she made just one quarterfinal or something like that before the US Open before she won, and she didn't really win clean. Let's be.
You
I
got
think.
the U.S. Open. I mean, I don't think she even made a quarter in Toronto and
Yeah, I
Montreal,
remember
Toronto
she
and
got
Cincinnati,
blown out by Keys in one of those
and
matches.
Haddad Maya in
Yeah.
in Toronto. So yeah, it was earlier than the quarterfinals for
Yeah,
sure.
and I remember that match against Niemeyer was it in the US
Yes,
Open. She
yes,
was
yes,
setting a
yeah. Easily
breakdown.
could have lost that. Like for a set and a half, it looked like she has nothing on Niemeyer, which sounds
Yeah,
pretty crazy, but that's the sort
yeah.
of random peaks that Jewel has been showing at the slams.
Yeah,
Um,
and then obviously there was that Sabalenka match, but then
yeah,
she won eventually against Ons. I think generally Ons is a good matchup for her. I mean, Ons beat
yeah.
her once at Wimbledon.
Back
Maybe
in the day, like two
yeah, it
years
was
ago, yeah,
a few
when
years
it
ago.
was yet before Iga hit her peak, really. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think was she a top 10 yet at the time. I don't know. Maybe not.
Yeah, probably like 8 or 7. I think she could have been.
Maybe yeah. I remember there was one screenshot from Madrid in 21 with 14 next to her name. It feels so strange to see that. Um,
What
it
was
was
next to her name again?
14, the
14.
14. Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, it's crazy to think one. Now, I mean, it's going to be odd to see two, let alone 14. Like for a while, I don't know what's going to happen
Yeah.
because Aryna is defending. But if you, I mean, I guess the WTA finals don't really count when you're talking about defending points for the rest of the season because they're going to drop those points anyway. But as far as Iga goes, I know she's defending San Diego. Can't think of any other tournament that she is
Yeah,
where.
Ostrava final as well.
Oh
No, but
yeah,
she's playing Guadalajara this time. She wasn't last year, so it's gonna be interesting. As long as Sabalenka doesn't win the US Open, the race for number one is still very much open.
yeah. I mean, this is a golden opportunity for Sabalenka to pull ahead. I tweeted this, of course. I mean, I'm not gonna say posted on X because people don't like it. I'm just gonna say tweeted it.
Tweeted.
So
Thank you.
yeah, right. I mean, if you look at the banner, might annoy you, but in any case, yeah, I see parallels between Djokovic's 2012 and Iga's 2023 in the sense that I mean, Iga's 2022 was ballistic. 37 match wins in a row. She won a bunch of big. I think she won four WTA thousands all on the trot. She won RG. I mean, all of them, consecutively, and then her win streak ended at one point, and then she won the U.S. Open. Of course, kind of similar was Djokovic's 2011 season, which again was amazing. And you look at these seasons and you're like, okay, we don't expect them to replicate it immediately after. That's kind of the case with Swiatek as well. And I do think this is a big chance for Sabalenka to get a substantial lead over Swiatek in the rankings by obviously winning the tournament. But if in the event she doesn't, of course, Iga can still has quite a bit of ground to regain the number one ranking and finish the season as number one for second consecutive year. So
Yeah.
it all depends on what Aryna does for the rest of this tournament.
Yeah, and regarding that top 10 Wimbledon thing, she was indeed in the top 10 at number 9 when that match was played. She basically got there with the Rome title. And yeah, I think that if Swiatek won this US Open, she would have been on like insane trajectory with 5 some titles. And it might seem like 4 is not that big a deal, like it's not that big a difference, but I think it actually is, just because she has 3 French Opens in that,
Yeah.
and you can get to 22 Grand Slams as Nadal showed while winning 14 of one of
Hmm.
them. I
Yeah.
just think it's not really repeatable, even with her dominance on clay in the best of three format. Doing something, basically producing a record like Nadal has done. It's not as easy, as it seems maybe
Right.
sometimes because he made it look so easy. And I think even for Swiatek, with her dominance in clay, it could be kind of tough. So it is a bit of a dilemma for her right now. Definitely, that 3 of the 4 slams don't really suit her game that much,
Hmm.
and she could be struggling with some of these more dangerous competitors in the near future. And
Yeah.
yeah,
When
it's
when we
up to
talk
her.
about It's funny when we talk about Carlos Alcaraz, we
Hmm.
already foreseeing him completing the career slam. It's just, does he
Yeah,
become the youngest now? He's barely 20. Nadal was 24 when he did it. With Iga, yeah, her best result, the AO was the semis last year, quarterfinal at Wimbledon this year. But yeah, we just wonder. I mean, I do think that she will win. I don't know about Wimbledon. She should win an Australian Open at some point. I just don't see why she wouldn't. But yeah, it's just. But we know for sure that, I mean, as things stand, like her dominant slam, so to speak, would be Roland Garros. With Alcaraz again, yeah, I mean, we are still, I think.
we have
Uh,
no clue which slam he's gonna win the most times. And
yeah,
honestly,
no, we
it could
have
even
no.
be Wimbledon. It could
It
even
could
be
be. I
Wimbledon.
mean, we're at
There's no,
crossroads trying to
yeah.
figure out which surface is his best. I mean, we spoke about, okay, grass, he's not going to do anything substantial. And then now he's lost just 2 matches in his career. He's won 2 titles for it.
I mean,
Uh,
when
you
did we
know,
say that he wasn't gonna do anything substantial?
no, for now. As in for the next couple of years, we thought it would
Oh,
take him
okay.
time. Yeah, yeah. Not that
Yeah,
he.
maybe a touch more, but he definitely seemed like, along with Medvedev and Djokovic, like
Mhm.
the main 3 favorites for Wimbledon. Of course, one of them was just miles ahead of the other two,
Mhm. Yeah,
but
it's true.
still.
That's true. But yeah, I mean, after I think that Wimbledon triumph really helped Alcaraz separate himself from everybody. We kind of grouped Medvedev and Alcaraz in one tier for this season, and Djokovic in his own. But Alcaraz just pulled away. I mean, there's no, you don't have to really talk much about why and how, but he did. I mean, the players he beat, how he beat them, how he got to the title, it's just unreal what he did. Oh yeah, so the match is underway by the way,
Yeah.
and Sabalenka looks like she's gonna have a comfortable hold. Let me pull up the stream here. Um, yeah, it's getting a little ludicrous now with the whole DMCA dilemma that we're facing, where even how do you say, screenshots are now becoming a little problematic. Some
Screenshots are becoming problematic.
yeah, I mean, it's some instances in problematic in the sense, I don't know if anyone has been asked to take down a tweet because of it, but then now more and more of these services are just disallowing screenshots. I'm not sure why.
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
Okay. No, I personally have only had a copyright strike once, and it was for a video.
all right.
So
Yeah, that happened to
screenshots, I've
me
not
a
seen
couple
it.
of times, and then my previous account just got suspended. And each time I try to revive it, I've been told to reach out to the original retractor or whoever, to yeah, ask them, or the original source, to ask them to retract the report. But like, I remember, yeah, it was that exchange between Layani and Holger Rune, and they played in Rome. Djokovic and Rune played in Rome,
Mm-hmm.
and Rune was just absolutely biting off at Layani, and Novak is just smiling. It was really funny, and I just shared that. There you go. Sabalenka is just held. Qinwen's now preparing to serve. Love one.
Yeah, great first game definitely, and like the backhand winner from to close it out was already sick.
It's exactly what you want, right? Um,
Yeah, and now a very heavy return as well to give Zheng's timing a bit of issues. I hope that it's not gonna look like that all match,
mhm.
where like Sabalenka just has such a deep, strong ball that Zheng is unable to produce her usual timing of it.
Yep.
But that's kind of how I see it. I mean, so far she's looking insanely strong over the next over the first 6 points. That's for sure.
Right, and I completely missed the Sheldon Tiafoe match.
Hmm.
Heard that some drama in the third set with set points both ways, and Sheldon, and there was that return winner from Sheldon set point
Yeah,
down.
yeah, that was the only set point that Foe had in the third.
Mhm.
Shelton had two consecutive double faults and then hits this return.
Right.
So it was pretty wild. I guess this is something that will be a bit forgotten in the long run because if you like look at the match overall, it seems like a pretty confident victory for Shelton. But
Hmm.
it was very close to Tiafoe being 2-1 up,
Yeah.
obviously. But yeah, out of the two guys who usually have so much energy on the court, Tiafoe was definitely like subdued. Just didn't have the usual good vibes, I guess. I don't know
Hmm.
if partially the reason was the weather conditions because so far I guess Shelton has been the best at managing that. Like the match against Paul, he was looking so much stronger physically in the
Yeah.
humid, hot conditions. Maybe it was also that, but it was a night match, so at least in theory it should not be as dangerous for Tiafoe. But maybe it's just the whole. Well, maybe it's like a combination of the pressure that was definitely I think more of it on Tiafoe, and
Hmm.
also the fact that Shelton also has like this um, big personality, let's say, and that maybe when there are two of these guys on the same court, there's only room for one. And
Yeah,
yesterday
that's true.
there was room for Shelton, and there
Yeah.
was no room for Tiafoe.
Anyway, your worst nightmare might come into fruition here because, yeah, okay, I guess two of the break points have been saved now, but this is not the start Zhang would have hoped for.
Yeah, the rallies have looked pretty damning for her so far, but there's a good serve to save the second break point. So someone is walking behind Sabalenka and
Mm-hmm.
not caring. You see the women on the screen now. It's a picture screenshot of shame.
A little behind now, I see.
Yeah, how much?
Yeah, well, I would say, I don't know, maybe a bit substantially behind. It's only now 30 40. And then they're showing, is this Sabalenka's box? Yeah.
Okay, I can change my stream. There's a certain one that I think will be more in line with what you have.
Yeah, that's fine.
Um, no,
You know,
no,
I
no, no,
guess,
no.
right.
Like if if
But now
if
I
that
see
one
it.
is
Yeah, now
actually
I see it. Now I see it.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
that's quite far behind. Okay.
Mhm.
Um.
Was it white?
All right.
Okay.
Okay. So I think I should be more or less along with what you have. Maybe a few seconds behind now.
Hmm.
With the stream that I changed. So I'm gonna watch the third breakpoint again, and it's not gonna be a long watch.
Ah, yeah, I just see it. She's missed the backhand. Sabalenka's broken. Uh,
Yep. 2-0 Sabalenka. Strong start, and I guess it's been all strong starts so far from Sabalenka in this event. And then, of course, it's not only the starts; it's been just
yeah, I mean, she's. I don't even know if she's been tested so far in this tournament.
not really right. I mean, she's yet to lose more than 3 games in a set. That
Whoa.
happened on 3 occasions: to Zanevska, to Burge, to Kasatkina. because we were talking about her looking great at the Australian Open, for example, right? But then she was really tested by Bencic in the fourth round, even Linette in the semis.
Yeah,
At
she
the
found
French,
that early break and then she pulled it
yeah,
together. In the
at the
final,
French, we were talking about it as well, that she is looking great, but she had that weird match against Stevens. But yeah,
mhm,
this sort of domination in the early rounds, I don't think it really happened for her so far. Obviously, at Wimbledon, there was this one rough match that she had with Gracheva. So
right.
this sort of domination every single match this year at the slams hasn't really been happening for her.
Yeah,
But
I just wonder though, from whoever's left in the draw, who is it that can really test her? I mean,
so you've got Keys and Vondroushova here. I don't know if I really
he's maybe,
trust
yeah, I mean,
either.
he's, wait, didn't they go to, oh no, that was a straight set, right? When they played at
Yeah,
Wimbledon.
that was a straight set match, and I think it's a pretty similar sort of yeah, it's just a pretty similar case to me as I see this matchup, like Zheng Sabalenka. I think Sabalenka Keys is a bit
Oh,
similar.
Mukova. I forget. So Mukova and Sabalenka playing that. But
I guess that's the
I
best
think Goff
chance.
beat her though. I mean, yeah, that would be the repeat of the Cincy final. And I think Goff takes that. So if Goff and Sabalenka were to play, I just wonder.
The
Like, what-
final, I guess, is the biggest chance for Sabalenka to lose, unless she's just unless it's her own wrongdoing that leads to her
yeah,
demise.
true,
Because that's
true.
very possible against anyone. But well, very possible maybe is a stretch this year, but
Hmm.
it can happen against anyone. But yeah, if we're thinking that the opponent actually surprises her, probably Goff or Mukhova. Yeah. Keys, yeah, I think she gets sort of overpowered and then doesn't really have anything else in her game,
Hmm.
which
But when she's dictating play, then it can be really tough for the open. I remember the
yeah,
second set being complicated where she was up to break and then she lost from there.
indeed,
And
yes.
yeah, when they played in Wimbledon, and then she absolutely destroyed Pegula. I didn't think that would happen. Um,
Yeah, but it was indoors and like Pagula just never showed up at all. I don't know if
yeah.
it was, the pressure right away or the fact that also, Keys, the power of Keys was tougher to handle. But I am less excited about that performance than people are,
The
generally
question
speaking.
is Sabalenka bigger hitter than Ostom. I just think that when Ostapenko gets into one of those moods, she doesn't miss. Sabalenka is more prone to missing from what I've seen, even when she is in the zone. But Ostapenko is like, how do I say it? Very chillich like, when they get into the zone and when they start to pump those ground strokes, and there's nothing anybody can do about it.
I think Sabalenka is a bigger hitter. I think Ostapenko kind of struggles with Sabalenka, Rybakina, the maybe these players who are not essentially trying to hit faster, like trying to take the ball earlier than her, but are just sort of bigger hitters.
I
So
guess
so if
Sabalenka is a heavier hitter, if that makes sense.
yeah,
Yeah.
if my understanding of big hitter is the same as yours, Sean, then I would say yes. I would say Sabalenka is the bigger hitter.
Fair enough. Yeah.
And that's sort of why she's good against players like Ostapenko, Keys, Zheng. I don't know if actually she's good against Ostapenko. Like that's my assumption that's how it would be. I don't know their head
Mhm.
to head.
Yeah, me neither. I know they played in Dubai this year, and Ostapenko was redlining and dominating for the first set, and then she just started to spray errors everywhere, and then Sabalenka
Well,
won.
yeah. I guess we don't really have that much of an indication based on their head to head because they only played twice, and the
Small
previous match
sample size,
was
so who knows?
2019. Yeah, 2019. What the hell
And
is that
that's the thing
event
with
even? Zhengzhou. There was a WTA tour event in such a place.
yeah,
What is that?
I don't remember. I mean, the tour has been away from China or
Yeah, for
Asia in
4 years,
general.
but
I mean,
Pliskova won
there
it
was
over Martic
Seoul.
in the
Yeah,
final,
there was,
apparently.
Tokyo and Seoul last year. So
Osaka also. Osaka not last year, but Osaka was in 2019. Osaka, I think, won in Osaka,
yeah, Osaka won in Osaka, and I
and
don't
she's also
remember.
born in. She was also born in Osaka.
Mhm. So not looking good so far for Qinwen. Again, this is a rinse and repeat of every Sabalenka match up until now so far.
Yeah, no, I think if she's hitting like that, it really takes away all the strengths of Qinwen. So well, it does seem like this match depends a lot on Sabalenka, on what Sabalenka will do, and what sort of quality, but also mindset we're gonna see from her. And so far, yes, she's just been exactly like the whole fortnight.
Yeah.
And it's not looking better with every point. With every
Yeah.
point we are nearing a potential bagel.
Yeah.
This is the sort of territory we're talking for. I mean, the strong, deep, powerful returns from Sabalenka, quite heavy as well, as you said.
I
And
want to say Vondrousova and Keys will not be anything like these matches so far, but
so you mean
again,
closer?
yeah, would be much closer. Than, I mean, we're looking at another potential first set bagel here,
Yeah.
like it was the case in the previous two quarterfinals, like 6-love, 6-2, 6-love, six
Oh,
two.
you're right. You're right.
Uh,
Yeah, I didn't think
so
of that. And on the men's, I guess it wasn't all that close to a bagel, but it was close in the sense that the only game that Fritz won was actually on the Djokovic serve in the first set. But it was 2-1, so it wasn't really close. But yeah, we are slowly entering bagel territory again.
yeah, 2 games
Uh,
away now.
I want to say Vondroushova close will be pretty tight too. I wonder what's the elbow injury for Marketa will be like.
Hmm.
So that's why I'm sort of giving the edge to Keys, I suppose. But yeah, and for love, Sabalenka. So far, just absolutely dominant. Nothing that Qinwen has been able to do, and that's the worst possible version of this match that I imagined. Unfortunately, that worst possible version also seemed pretty likely. But let's not give up on it yet. It's been just 15 minutes.
Yeah.
And Kirsta Mukhova was actually a pretty fun bagel, right? Because there was a long 20-minute game. I heard. I
Oh
heard.
yeah, I slept through that, so I didn't
I
watch it.
slept
I
through it
watched
as well. That's when John told me when I joined the Shelton Paul stream. Shelton
yeah.
TFO, of course.
Hmm. Wait,
But
you covered Zverev and Sinner, right? Was it
yeah,
radio?
yeah. Zverev Sinner we did with John Taylor. I mean, we're basically doing the night watch every single day. So
Ah, yeah. Okay, that's why Jake mentioned. You must be sharp.
yeah, 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 yeah. We're basically doing the night watch every day. So Zverev Sinner was probably the match so far out of the U.S. Open that I wanted to watch the most. Oh,
Hmm.
maybe at least among the top. Did it deliver? I guess.
Yeah. I mean, Zverev played really well to his credit. We don't
Yeah,
like to
like
mention.
before Sinner. Yeah, before Sinner had the cramping issues, I think especially the last few games of the first set, Zverev was pretty much unplayable.
Yeah.
I personally don't mind mentioning it. Like I can very easily separate off court and on
Yeah.
court stuff, but
Yeah, same
yeah,
here, but sometimes I tend to veer either to one side or the other. So I mention a lot about this on Twitter, and then I know that I
yeah,
have.
yeah. I know. I know your stance on that.
Yeah,
I see the tweets. Yeah.
exactly. And then
I don't have anything against your stance
yeah,
like regarding that as well. It's
yeah,
important
but
to
then
keep mentioning that as well. Like it's
yeah.
important not to forget about these things.
Mm,
Um, but yeah, he definitely played extremely well at times. That's why I think this is sort of similar to his pre-injury level. I don't think it's that far removed. And if he was just a bit more, a bit less tired, I suppose, maybe I would like his chance against Alcaraz. I still think Sinner would have been tougher for Carlos, though.
yeah, 100%. But then again, the question would remain: does Sinner recover in time for
Yeah,
that Alcaraz match?
after the cramping, probably not. Before the match, it seemed like maybe a five-setter between these two won't matter all that much, but it
Yeah,
was actually so attritional with the conditions. And Zverev, I mean, he was gassed too. Honestly, the last few games on serve that he played in the fifth set were really easy, and that was a surprise because It felt like
Yeah,
Sinner just
there was a
tests him
15.
a bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I woke up it was 7:38 a.m. here, and the match was still going on. Maybe even later than that, actually. And
Yeah,
was
I think 7:30 where I am was actually where it was ending. So I think for you
okay. So
it
yeah,
must
it
have
was
been, yeah.
9:30 ish here. I mean, I
Yeah,
woke up
yeah.
an hour before that, and then I checked the score. It's still going on. So it was like 15:30 in the last game, and then I was like, okay, here's the usual yip from Zverev when he's trying to close it up. But
15:30, yeah, yeah. That
yeah,
was
well,
like the only tough moment in the last few games, yeah, on serve for him, yeah.
hey there, Max. Nice to see you as always. Um, Wonder which singer John. Oh, that's obviously a question for Jones. Phil Collins. I
um
know one song of Phil Collins. That's Another Day in Paradise.
Pairs,
I don't
like, I don't know. We can answer that too, of course, right?
know.
Why
Yeah,
not?
sure.
I've never been a big Elton John fan. Phil
Oh,
Collins, when he when Peter Gabriel left Genesis, I think the band got a lot weaker. His
mhm,
solo stuff is often way too poppy for me. So I think I would have to say Billy Joel, but like his yeah, but basically his discography is also like so many ups and downs.
right.
Sometimes you get The Stranger, sometimes you get some ridiculous albums. So, but I would probably say Billy Joel. Yeah.
Yeah. For me, as someone who listens to songs from the Lion King musical pretty much every day, I would say maybe I'm a fan of Elton John because,
Okay.
yeah. Other than that, I mean, I know that he stopped touring. Or he's done doing his last tour was not very long ago. And yeah, he
He's like a
again.
guy who I feel like I should be enjoying more,
Hmm.
but he just never really clicked for me in terms of like full albums. I have a few songs for sure, but yeah. Anyway, Love 5, Love 15. Let's see if Qinwen Zheng can
Not
produce a
another
game
opening
here.
set, Diego. Again, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know who I spoke about this to. That was to John. Yeah. Well, when it's a best of three match, I just feel a little odd to say opening set in the first set. When it's a best of five, I think it makes a little more sense. I mean, it
Hmm.
doesn't make a difference for the result, of course. I mean, obviously, the best of five matches that could end in straights, and it's still pretty much the same net effect, I guess. But yeah, opening out of five makes more sense than opening out of three because you're already the one third of the way there or halfway there.
Yeah. Then again, it's not really like incorrect, right?
Yeah, it's not incorrect, of course not. Um,
Sometimes you need a synonym as well, and you have to use the opener or
yeah.
the opening set. They should be playing best of five, and then maybe the previous matches would have been more interesting. Maybe Elena Ostapenko wins it in five against Kokugov. I don't think so,
Right. Yeah,
but
I mean, I
maybe.
do wish some of these, especially after watching quite a few of these women's matches, I wish women's tennis was best of five. Um,
Yeah, I would just hate it if they did something like women's, men's start playing both, like both sexes start playing best of five from the quarters, for example, because I feel like it would take away so many classics from the first
yeah,
week that
yeah.
it's not worth it like this. Like if they want if we want women to play best of five, the whole event, I don't care. Let's let them play the whole event.
Hmm.
Although it could obviously lead to some logistics issues with the scheduling, and like it would have to be
Yeah,
reworked a little bit. Zheng finds this beautiful forehand plus one down the line winner, so 30-15, and there is hope. There is hope for Qinwen
yeah.
Zheng to get a game.
Missed the first
Although
serve. Yeah.
it would be a pretty great story if the first three, well, pretty great. It would be a pretty fun story, I guess, if all the quarterfinals ended their first set with a 6-love.
Right.
She is trying her best to make it not to for that not to happen though, and she has 2
Mhm.
game points now.
quite a few lets here. The beginning of this match for Qinwen. And John hopes that this match goes to 3 sets so that he can catch some of it. But I, you can only hope at this point.
Yes, if I were you, I would not be. I would not have high hopes for that.
Yeah, means, um, okay, she's on board at last. Yeah, it's 5-1.
Woohoo!
Yeah, that helps. Is the roof shut? No, it's not. Okay, wait from this.
It's like half closed. Someone posted
Right.
on Twitter actually, where yeah, basically there's a small opening, but it's not also open, which is
Mhm.
interesting.
Yeah, I'm not sure what purpose that would serve. Oh, comeback starts now, according to John. Um, there's one section of the court where it's sunny and then shadow around everything else. I wonder, I mean, when you're on court and you're playing when the court's looking like that, I don't know if it maybe it does hinder you a bit, especially the way the court's looking right now. You can't look to one side of the court, or like when you're serving from the ad side, for example.
Yeah, and Zheng's serve even has been looking a bit better than it was in the forefront too, but
Mhm.
that does not matter. You know, she's still getting it. Sabalenka is still crushing it, and yeah, just how fast the ball is going at Zheng is has been really troubling for her. But she wins this point though, in like a pretty prolonged baseline exchange. So maybe there's a sign. There's a positive sign for her to look at. But
Two
these
sets.
positives, yeah, these positive signs will likely have to be moved over to the second set. That's the only thing she can really do right now. Try to reset and try to come up with something later on.
Is it me or the most one-sided matches? Hmm, interesting question here. Um,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, but I don't know. Depends. Some sets are 6-love on paper, but like almost every game goes to deuce and decided by just a couple of
The
points.
worse your service, the better is your chance to lose a set. Love
Hmm.
six or 1-6, right? If the
Yeah.
difference between
Hmm.
your level and the opponents is high, so
Right.
yeah, I think it's pretty logical that it would be like this. Yeah.
Yeah. In any
Um,
case, first set 6-1 to Sabalenka.
there are there are many lopsided matches on the ATP tour where still like you're gonna win at least one or two games on the basis of your like serve and the aggressive positions that it can lead you to. Whereas on the women's side, some players still get that sort of advantage, but there's definitely a lot more where it's not really the case. So then it's a lot easier to lose a set like this, 6-1 or 6-2, if your serve is not really bringing you much. Qinwen Zheng is among the biggest servers in the game, when it comes to the first serve, but that's how well Sabalenka has been returning. And also we can see on the screen now that Zheng has only returned 56% of Sabalenka's second serves, which certainly is far from ideal.
I mean, Sabalenka's numbers on the serve just off the charts there.
Yeah.
89% of first serve, points won, and around me what the percentage of first serve she made is. Uh, I don't trust Google stats, by the way, because they can get really wonky.
Yeah, don't
Yeah,
trust it, definitely
yeah.
not.
So I have to use the actual app. I should trust that more. Even Flash Score sometimes gets some things really
Yeah, Flashscore
off.
theoretically has like uses providers, official providers, but sometimes they are messed up. So what were you asking about? Oh, actually, Zheng has just made 4 out of 16 first serves. Wow,
Mhm.
that's
Okay, so
insane.
that is right. So okay, that is accurate. Google says 25%.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah, that's true.
but yeah, so I remember which match of Eagles was it against Juvan? How do you pronounce her name?
Yuvan,
Yuvan?
yeah,
Yuvan,
yeah,
right. Yeah, it was 6-love, 6-1, and then Google said that Yuvan converted 2 break points. I mean, mathematically, that's not possible.
yeah.
Because if you convert 2 break points, that means you've won 2 games, and she won only 1 game. Uh, right. Okay, yeah, it is accurate. 50%, but then she's won 90% of uh, points on each first serve and second serve. Um, no double faults yet, which is obviously always good. Um, yeah, honestly, Runa is just far too steadier than Shelton. I would say for me, players like Runa and Medvedev, sort of similar crop because they both, while they were developing as players, they trained a lot with Djokovic. So when we look at their matches against Djokovic in isolation, they match up really well. They play really well. Holger too. I mean, he played exceptionally when they played in Rome. Same case with Medvedev. Although I think, yeah, in Medvedev's case, it was. I mean, there were a few matches. It was only a few matches in before he started to score wins against Novak. But yeah, I just don't see. I mean, Shelton apart, I can see Novak being a bit uncomfortable on the serve of Shelton's because it's just something he probably hasn't faced before. Maybe he can either blast the serve 140 plus miles an hour, or he can go for that heavy kick. You can't really tell. He disguises both really well, but he's gonna figure him out somewhere along the match, and I just don't think, honestly, that more than a set, I won't give Shelton in that match.
Yeah, it just seems to me like there's no way he would be ready. I do think that he's probably more dangerous than Tiafoe if, for the lefty serve and also for the fact that he just has a bit more of like an unknown quality to Novak, which could be helpful.
Right.
But yeah, I just think there's no way he will be ready. And we've had some mini chokes from him along the way too. We've had the one against Paul when he was dominating, up a break in the third, loses it, just loses a few games in a row, completely out of nowhere,
Mhm.
for basically no reason. Not that Tommy improved or did something crazy. And also that one against Tiafoe, where yeah, he goes 6-4 up in the third set tiebreak. He misses a second serve return, which he tries to attack, but it's a very failed attempt. and then hits 2 consecutive double faults. Like anything like this will not go unpunished against Novak, I think.
Yeah.
And yeah, he would have to play like his most, basically the best match of his career, which maybe doesn't mean all that much because he's so young, but like the
Yeah.
best, most composed, and yeah, at such a stage, even though the guy loves the big stage, I think there also might be a moment when the pressure kicks in. So if he's
Yeah.
able to just come out and play, as if he has nothing to lose, maybe he something happens. I don't know, but
I don't know because I
it's
think also the golfing experience at this stage is just too vast. Also, it's just hard to
yeah.
imagine.
I mean,
With
he's
Alcaraz, I mean, it was different because he was a Grand Slam champion already, and he's no stranger to such matches. Also, Shelton, has he played anyone from some of the best? I mean, I know he played Tsitsipas.
Tsitsipas, Alcaraz.
For Alcaraz, right? Okay. He hasn't played the likes of Medvedev or Djokovic or I want to say Rublev. He played Rudy, beat him last year. I know that. But yeah, like I think there are a few players now who are like just a step above the rest. Alcaraz being one of them, Djokovic another one. Also, right. So I guess it's still smooth sailing for Aryna so far on serve. Has she at all lost even 2 points in a service game? I don't think.
Yeah, probably not, given the fact that Zheng won 9 points in the opening set, and of course 4 of them were in the same game
Yeah,
on
just
serve.
she's
Yeah,
lost
two,
2 points
only
on
2 points
serve.
so far. Yeah, exactly. Two points, one on return by Zheng so far. Yeah, with that sort of first serve percentage, and also, yeah, with just how tough the matchup for her is, so far she just has had no chance.
Right.
And Sabalenka is serving great too. I mean, another cracker down the tee. 91% of points won on first serve return. First serve, of course, just mean not return.
And that's the third point she lost. Um, so, to talk about Yannick Sinner now with that loss, is it fair to say that what most people are saying that, oh, maybe we propped him up a bit too much and that he really isn't on the, at least this season, as far as this season's concerned? Like, I know quite a few people have been pushing it more than they should have in a way, just because of that rivalry or matchup that he has with Alcaraz. He won a Masters event, he made a Slam semi. Definitely a huge jump. He started the season where he was 17, 16 or 17 in the rankings, and now yeah, again, he had a pretty big chance to get to the top four, right? Hey, I think if he made the semis, he's number four. But as things stand, he's number six still. Um, so yeah, I just wonder. And Holger somehow still stays at number four. It's crazy. Um, and obviously his best part of the season's coming up.
Yeah, personally, I guess I'm not the best person to ask that to ask that question to, because I was not among these hyping up
Hmm.
Sinner all that much. I've
Hmm.
never really been. It's good that he got that big title out of the way, and it was maybe not the strongest big title that I've ever seen. But did I really consider him one of the main contenders to win the U.S. Open? Not along the lines of Medvedev and Djokovic, but it certainly felt very important that he was in the Alcaraz quarter, just because of how that matchup has looked. And I
Yeah.
basically believed that Alcaraz, I mean, Zverev or Sinner, I always kept saying Zverev or Sinner, didn't really know which one of them was going to progress. By the time we reached that match, I actually thought Zverev was going to win, because it's a bit like the Medvedev matchup for Sinner. And yeah, so I basically thought that either Zverev or Sinner are the main issue for Alcaraz, but that's sort of how I treated Sinner, as an issue for Alcaraz and then a potential semi-finalist because of that. But beating Zverev, Alcaraz, let's say Medvedev, Djokovic in a row, that felt very impossible,
Yeah.
especially with how his matchups against Medvedev and Djokovic look.
Yeah, I in my bracket I had him beating Alcaraz, losing to Medvedev.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense. I think if I thought he was gonna beat Alcaraz, then that's what I would have done too.
Mhm. But I just hope. I mean, I personally, as a Medvedev fan, I do want Medvedev to play Alcaraz again. I know that the matchup's been just awful for him so
Mm-hmm.
far, but of course, contrary to what a lot of people would think. Oh, why would you want that? I mean, the beauty of it is to play these the same opponents over and over again until I mean, if it's only Alcaraz who is sort of, we know that Djokovic. I mean, no, Medvedev can beat Djokovic if if he plays really well. So in big events, you're looking at mostly only Alcaraz. Why would he not want to make that leap that he needs to in order to like match up against Alcaraz and also try to beat him, right? Because he is. I mean, now it's a pretty strongly established top three. I don't see it changing. Yes, Holger is number four, and as Max rightly pointed out, he has quite a few points to defend.
Yeah.
Let's say around 1,300 upwards. Um, I think, yeah, he's defending finalist points in Sofia, was it? Yeah, Sofia.
Yeah, and also Stockholm title, right?
Stockholm and Bercy. So that's and Basel final as well.
Yeah, Basel final. So that's
That's a lot of
1,700. Yeah,
yeah, that's a lot of points.
1,700. It's still like
City,
enough to keep
yeah,
him top 8, but it
top
is a
eight.
lot.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. So when Medvedev hardly has much, he has
Oh,
that. Yeah,
actually, yeah. Actually, if he loses all of that, he would be like on the verge of the top 10, I guess, rather than
yeah. If he loses all of that, then
yeah.
yeah, still somewhere. Um, I mean, the difference now between 10 and 11 is 400-ish points. So uh, yeah, in any case, I don't think Medvedev is going to drop out of the top three for a while now until say
No, no.
he's
I
pretty
think he has
safe
so
with.
many points from the first half of the season, or like at
Yeah,
least first 3 months, and Rome as well. So
yeah,
I think if it happens, it's gonna be the spring rather than
yeah. Around the sunshine double phase, and
yeah.
we
That
know he
that's when it
doesn't,
could happen if he's not doing well. Yeah.
defend titles, so there's that. Um,
Hmm. Still hasn't defended one. He only has one title each at
yeah,
every tournament.
at every
Okay.
city. So if he were to say, for example, win the ATP finals, that still means he's won a title in different cities, each of them, because he won
Yeah.
his first. He won the only one that he won in London. And this would be in Turin, I guess, if he wins it.
I guess yeah. We could push that narrative. Yes.
Yeah. Uh, but yeah, Felix again just been a disaster this season. Sadly, he's gonna drop quite a bit in the rankings.
There's no way he won a title in a city where he also won an ITF event or something, right? Yeah, there's no way really. Nah.
Oh, right. I
I'm
don't.
just wondering. I'm just wondering if it's a main tour
Right.
stat or not. But yeah, I don't think so. Challengers, he only has one title in Saint Remy, so there's no danger of that. I'm not really sure about ITFs, but probably
Danger.
not.
I like that word. But yeah, I think Zhang's doing decent so far.
Is Qinwen getting into the match now? Or am I clashing at Strauss?
Yeah,
As long as she's not putting any pressure on Sabalenka on return, I can't really say that.
yeah.
But
Just 3 points so far.
one
One.
one poor game from Sabalenka and Qinwen could be 4-1 up in a second. So
Mhm. It's true.
that's what the Chinese will be hoping for, I guess, with how
Yeah.
Sabalenka has played so far.
Mm-hmm. Think, um, Is this Goff's best? I think it's safe to say this is her best chance so far of winning the slam
So far, yes, yes.
so far, because I mean,
The
no one
final
gets
was
a
not
chance.
a chance at all. No. Ooh, it's a spicy backhand of the line from Qinwen Zheng, so maybe she will look for something here.
Yeah.
This time she had the timing advantage on Sabalenka after a big deep return
Mhm.
and used it in the best way possible.
Right. I don't mind Sabalenka, but I hope Coco can win the US Open. And yeah, that would be some surgeons, wouldn't it? Since adding Pere Riba and Brad Gilbert to her team. Just been a
Thank you for
few.
mentioning Pere Riba.
Right. Yeah, I just thought it's nice. It would be good to mention both of the instrumental uh, changes to her team. I know a lot
Yes,
of people
yes.
like to fixate on Brad Gilbert. Yeah, that was a nice backhand there from Sabalenka. Just
It's like when Patrick Moratoglu joined the Runa team in like a
Mhm.
larger capacity last year, and after a week, Runa's results improved, and everyone just screamed that it was surely Patrick,
Mhm.
which we just don't really know. I mean, maybe Pereriba really has nothing to do with Coco's improvement. I mean, we just don't know that.
Who knows?
But yeah, without inside knowledge from the Gov box from the Gov team, we basically have to mention them both. Even
Yeah.
though, honestly, after watching Wozniacki against Gov,
Hmm.
I mean, I have to say that I'm really struggling with the idea that Brad Gilbert is helping her out. But
Right.
it was good
Yeah.
for her to have this clarity of mind, though, to
Mhm.
like not listen to him, to know that she knows better, and to just keep
That's a
going
nice
like she wanted
backhand
to.
there from Qinwen, and this is the first time she's gone to 30 all on a Sabalenka serve. John might
Yep.
be onto something here. And yeah, I can see a nice smile on his face. I This is someone who wants this match to go to three. You might just have your wish granted. You never know. Again, maybe I'm just getting ahead of myself. Sabalenka closes out. Um,
Yeah, this is very early still to say that, but yeah, a couple of great points here. Both
yeah,
finished with backhands down the line.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
she
And
was
then
so far behind to this first serve from Sabalenka, standing so far back, and yet she could not react to it in any way.
yeah, yeah. What I meant is another serve like that, and then the game's toast. So
Yeah,
um,
and I think she's been struggling with like big serves too. Remember at the French, maybe she played like who was it that she played? I can't remember, but there was a match where the opponent was like just acing her almost every time. She was basically just guessing.
uh,
Can't remember who it was. But anyway, to all.
yeah. So John says going to travel between 7:30 p.m. and 9 European time. So this is
Okay.
for the Medi
Uh,
match. Hoping to
no,
win.
it's basically right now. Yeah. Well, I
Mhm.
mean, in 30 minutes.
Right.
His period of traveling starts in 50 minutes. In 30 minutes.
Yeah.
Is
Yeah.
he
Okay.
at the airport or something?
Yeah. Looks like it.
Okay, yeah, he is. Where are you
I
flying
thought he
to?
is traveling at
Are you
the
flying to? No, you're not flying to New York because that would mean you
no.
would only have a flight of 1 hour and 30 minutes. So that's not gonna get you to New York.
No, unless you travel somewhere close to the cosmic limit or something. I don't know. 1:30. Let's go. Aryna says Jake. Sorry. um, oh, he's going to Lisbon. Okay. Interesting.
Ooh, it's a nice point from Qinwen Zheng as well. Getting that first strike in this set, definitely she has been able to control the points a bit more. And when Azarenka, Jesus, Sabalenka is pushed wide, when Sabalenka is forced to move laterally, she has not been producing the best results. It's just
I
that in the
remember,
first set there was no option to do that to her at all.
yeah, the last time I was in a flight during a big tennis match. It was, I think, a 2012 Wimbledon final. I was traveling to India, and yeah, it was Federer and Murray, and landed, and obviously the match had not ended by then because of the rain delay, and they had to shut the roof and all
Oh
of that.
yeah, yeah.
And yeah, that was kind of a Federer just pulled it back in the second set, and then from there he took over. So everyone was wondering, oh, maybe this is the moment for Andy, and but then Federer just, yeah, it was one of his vintage performances there. I mean, to beat Djokovic and Murray, um, and then win that tournament. Okay, it's just unreal. And if memory serves, yeah, he did reclaim the number one ranking after that also.
Yeah.
That's when Sampras's record was finally broken. I think, yeah, 286 weeks, and Federer got to 287. We had those shoes, 287 pairs, that was sold. And now just people talk about 20 like it's Grand Slams are being handed like candy or something. Like we have looked at these three players and how they've literally toiled, spent blood, sweat, and tears to get to those numbers, and like they are not normal numbers. It's like, make peace with that. And then, I mean, I know a lot of people like, it's not. I don't know if it's the most wise thing to do to predict. I mean, that now obviously the point of discussion or personal discussion when it comes to this is Alcaraz, and people, oh, he's already a two-time Sam champion. Does he get to 20? And I was like, I can see double digits, but I don't want to just place a pin on a number because it's just so difficult to.
Yeah, it has really nothing to do with you and like what it wouldn't really be even your effort or like your credit if you landed the number right realistically. But yeah, double digits seems like not that high of a number for him. Definitely not.
Yeah,
Like reaching double digits. I mean,
yeah,
that
that's true.
doesn't seem like a challenge, and especially
Uh,
that Wimbledon title, I think changes a lot too.
Yeah, I mean, there are
Um,
some. Obviously, we look at just numbers, but we always talk about that one title that has that much magnitude that sort of painted the picture for everything else. Like, if I were to talk about Novak, I think one triumph that modern tennis Twitter just loves to overlook and put it as an afterthought was that 2014 Wimbledon final, which I think changed everything for him. If you look at his finals
okay.
record since then, it's just, I mean, in what do you call it? It is heavily in his favor from there. It was 6 wins and 7 losses until then, and yeah, playing
Yeah.
Federer in that final, and then fourth set,
And
after
if he lost it as well, right after losing the fourth from 5-2 up, 5-3 up.
5-2,
Um,
and also 5-4, he had championship point where he got
yeah,
ace.
he had one. Yeah.
So just imagine, right, what happens from there. Um,
Yeah.
he
Yeah.
was just losing so many of those close. I mean, he lost multiple Slam finals. He won just one Australian Open title between that to AO 2012 triumph and then this Wimbledon final. Obviously, he was losing more often than not in these big matches to these big guys. Obviously, all of them to fellow Big Four members. Those with that
Yeah.
one.
Basically, only big four, right?
Yeah, Big Four. I know. That's another thing tennis Twitter just cannot wrap its head around. There is no Big Four. How can you say Big Four?
Oh, there used to be. There
They
used to
used,
be.
yeah, it was. And when we're going to talk about these players, you're always going to bring that context because that's how it was.
Yeah, in like 2011, 2012 for sure. Yes.
Yeah, I mean, 11 to 12, almost every slam featured these four in the semis, almost
Yeah,
every.
three or four in the semis every time.
Yeah. So a few of them had all like RG, US, not US, RG, yeah, US Open, Australian Open, in 2011 to 12, had all four of them. 2008 US Open also.
Yeah, and with Alcaraz, just one thing that I wanted to say is that it's kind of funny, but like his achievements right now, I think that people are only going to look at the slams from now on, realistically.
Yeah.
Like Masters 1000 events, they're warm up for slams, really.
Mhm.
And if there is a season where he doesn't win a slam, it's a tragedy for him. Like it
Yeah.
does not matter if he wins maybe all ATP thousands. He doesn't win a slam, it's an awful season for him, which is pretty
Yeah.
funny to think about. But
Yeah. I
it
mean,
is
just look at
that's how
Iga.
it works.
Yeah. I mean, she
Yeah,
on top of
I
her.
guess for Iga as well. Yeah, for Iga
Yeah,
as
she
well.
won a
If there
slam, and
if
then
there's a season where she doesn't win, yeah,
yeah, she won a slam, but then oh, she didn't make the semis in three out of the other four.
yeah.
She won. She won RG. She won.
Winning a slam makes it okay though, right? Like
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, winning a
it makes it
slam.
an acceptable season, basically. If Alcaraz win a slam, this is an acceptable season. If they don't, it's unacceptable regardless of other results. They could
Yeah,
even spend the whole year at number one. It's still
yeah,
unacceptable.
yeah. And I would say, in terms again, when people talk about the big titles, there's some people who just like to again emphasize so much on slams alone. When I think from the 90s, not the 2000s, of course, the 90s, I would say in terms of big titles, it's Medvedev who's the most decorated, having won six of the nine Masters events. He's won the ATP finals. He has won a slam too. So I can't think of another 90s player in the ATP tour. Team, of course, has won a slam, but he
Yeah,
also has
and one
the
ATP
Masters
thousand. Yeah.
event. Yeah, but yeah, when you talk about that, some people say, "Oh, but at any time Alcaraz or Medvedev, or, any of these guys are playing at the moment, or like they win one of these big titles, people talk about, oh, what do you call it? If Team was in this era, he would have cleaned up all these events. But Team at his prime was still losing to uh, some what do you call journeymen or much lower ranked players in early rounds. Remember what happened before he won the U.S. Open? Got cleaned up by Krajinovic in
Yeah,
the Western and Southern Open. Obviously, was played in New York.
Cincinnati. Yeah, I remember that. Sure.
Yeah, he was cleaned up there. 2019 also he didn't. Again, I know he was injured at AO. He retired, injured or ill, one of the two, and he lost first round in the other two also. Um, but yeah, that's another thing. Like you just mentioned, that they want to go back to slams, and then when you mention someone's slams track record, then they want to jump back again. Then they want to bring more context, like, oh, but X player was basically battling it out in the big three era or whatnot. Like, I mean, I guess you could
Yeah.
talk about it with Andy Murray, for example. They like to compare Murray and the other greats have won many more slams than he has. But there you're comparing completely different eras. Here that's not the case really.
1530, and after Zheng went up 15 love, I actually wanted to say that she is very close to winning more games in a set against Sabalenka that
And
any of her
yeah,
opponents managed so far. However, maybe it's not going to be that easy as she missed this very like yeah, just very simple +1 forehand. However, a good serve gets her back to 30 all. Who has been playing Sabalenka so far? Zanevska, Berich, Kasatkina, and I'm lacking one. Oh, Clara Burel, yeah. So neither of them, if you guys were not listening at the to us at the beginning, maybe neither of them won more than 3 games in a set. So Zheng is fighting to achieve that, to get a fourth game as against Sabalenka in one set as the first player this U.S. Open.
yep.
Obviously, she's also fighting to win this match and this set, which is significantly more important. And I'm sure she does not have that stat in mind, but
Mhm.
if she did, that would be kind of worrying. Actually, that would not be great to be focusing on such pointless things. Did you watch that video that like a few days ago Tennis TV put out where Qinwen Zheng and Yibing Wu are sitting together like answering some questions?
Oh, I think I did. Yeah.
Yeah, it was okay, I guess.
Yeah.
Definitely the Chinese market could be huge for tennis in the future,
Yeah.
which
Now you have Zhang on the men's tour
yeah,
coming. Asia.
Zhang, Wu, Shang. So
Oh
a
yeah,
trio
Shang is
basically.
the 18, 19-year-old. Whoever. Yeah.
Yes, yes, yes. 2005 born. Although people say he lied about his age actually, and he is older, which Might be true. I mean, I haven't seen any actual evidence. Some people told me that he was banned from some events in the States because of that, because of these suspicions. It would make sense because if you are, let's say, a 16-year-old junior and you get to number one, which is what Yunqing Shang had, you're going to get a lot more sponsorships, right, than an 18-year-old junior who gets to number one. And I don't know. Maybe there is some merit to it, but anyway, let's say he is 2005 born. Anyway, he is a very talented player, obviously, and yeah, that trio of Chinese men's players on the main tour very soon, maybe with Shang still not yet, but Wu and Zhang, and also of course the army of Chinese players
Just as
rising
we
on the
speak,
women's.
maybe Qinwen is about to fail at that
Yeah.
task.
Yes, maybe she does not get that fourth game. Another time where like Sabalenka just lands a blow big enough, and Zheng cannot handle it at all. For free, 6-1 for free, and 2 games away from winning another
I
match
don't know
without
what this the
any
reaction
hassle.
to. Maybe Sabalenka breaking, probably. Uh, Huge OMG from Nolan. Uh,
People jumped on him getting cramps like it was the end of the world. Yeah, people tend to jump on these young, talented players for any reason, basically. They always say that, oh, they're not good enough, they're overhyped. And I don't know. I prefer to be excited about the young players rather than constantly trash them.
yeah, fair enough.
I start trashing players when they're like 25, 26. That's where I say that okay, they've peaked. That's enough. But then, of course, there's a new generation of youngsters coming up. And
Maybe we didn't mention this, but Osaka is here to watch.
yeah, I saw it on Twitter.
Right.
I didn't see her on the screen, but I saw it on Twitter.
Mm-hmm. Hmm. I think Coco's our only chance to stop her. You're forgetting Mukova. Nurlan says Coco is the only chance to stop Sabalenka. There is a
Coco is the
certain.
only chance. Yeah, Muchova beat her at the French, but does she have a better chance to do it at the US Open? I don't know. I think there could be a possibility of Sabalenka, just maybe succumbing to the pressure again.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe. She has done that like what? 3 out of the last 4 slams, basically. She had big leads in important matches and important semifinals and did not manage to convert them. So
Mm-hmm.
maybe that's a thing again. And then someone like Vondroushova or Muchova, who just sort of puts the ball into uncomfortable spots and has lots of
Yeah.
variety.
Yep.
Maybe that's where someone like that comes into play. Goff is probably like the best chance at beating her, just in a usual match, just where let's say the pressure is not really a factor, and yeah, they're just
Mhm.
playing their tennis. I mean, if Sabalenka just wins the US Open, then there's no real discussion as to who's the best player in the world anymore. Obviously,
Yeah.
maybe there isn't any real discussion anymore, even right now. But if she wins the
Yeah.
title, she clearly has had the best season out of anyone.
Yeah, I would say maybe already she has.
Yeah, I think possibly right now it's not even a discussion. But if she
Yeah,
wins the U.S. Open, it's like
and
closed
definitely not. Yeah,
completely.
that's true.
Yeah,
Because was it W semifinal, now possibly at least semifinal here. Um, Again, best performer across all 4 slams, 1 slam, and the WTA 1000. I mean, we had Rybakina, who won a couple of WTA thousands, no slams. Higa won a slam, no WTA thousands. Um, so yeah, there is that. But she made the final in Indian Wells also, I should mention. So here it is, 6-1, 5-3. Now does Qinwen do what is seemingly impossible at US Open 2023? Take more than three games in a set of Sabalenka.
Yes, last time she had the opportunity to do it on her serve, she faltered. Let's see if that's the case again. But at the same time, it does not have to depend on her at all. Sometimes with these deep, heavy returns from Sabalenka, she's just able to instantly provide such a tough ball for Zheng to attack. That,
Right.
but this set has been tighter, definitely. Not on Sabalenka's serve, really, but at least on Qinwen's.
Mhm.
In the second set, her first serve percentage is up to 46%, which is still not amazing, but
It's a job, I guess.
it has
Different.
kept her. It has kept her pretty competitive in this one, but
Mhm.
it has not allowed her to. Well, obviously that doesn't matter for the return games, and there, yeah, Rally's won 4 shots or less, 38-18. Sabalenka. This is obviously a brutal demolition here.
A question for you, Damien.
Mm-hmm. Let me see. Did you find Iga's last post cringy? Also, she just can't play it cool at all. Can she? Do you mean that today? That one today? Like, was there also an English version? I thought it was only in
Yeah,
Polish, but
there was.
okay, maybe cringy. Yeah, I don't know. Like, I don't really know who makes the decisions there as well, right?
Yeah.
Is she the one writing it? But
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
I don't think I found it cringy. I think it's good to communicate with the fans in that way. I wish more players did that. I
Mhm.
think there's a lot of players who are not using social media to their advantage and like building their brand. Maybe Świątek does not have to build their brand, so maybe this is really neither here nor there, because well, she's already got a brand, by itself with itself, like just with her results, obviously. But yeah, I wish more players did something like that. And when it comes to the actual like what was said in the post,
What was
I guess
the
she was sort of explaining, what sort of mental state she is in right now and how she tries to treat this loss. But yeah, I mean, we kind of knew that the number one ranking is not going to be that much of a priority, right? And there were some nice words there about like maybe not thinking about defending from now on, but thinking about conquering and getting the titles rather than thinking too much about the points and the titles that she has to defend and etc. Which of course is a mindset that I think a lot of players should be adapting. And I don't know if Iga actually has. Maybe it's something that she wants to yeah, that she wants people to sorry, that she wants to think about, that she wants to have in her mind. And
so
yeah, I see the
Zheng has
English
just
version.
saved a match point. So it's use. Maybe she does get to 4 games. Let's see. Yeah, there's some things that I want to say about this, but I'll wait potentially until the end. And Sabalenka's missed that return, so it's game point for Qinwen to do the seemingly impossible.
Hmm. yeah, instead of looking at her potentially winning the match, we're now basically looking whether she can win 4 games in a set.
Yeah.
That's how good Sabalenka has been at this US Open and also in this match.
Hmm. I like how these Nike outfits, and oh yeah, she's held. So congratulations to Qinwen for accomplishing what no player so far has accomplished: take more than 3 games in a set of Aryna Sabalenka. Anyway, yeah, I should mention that yeah, the Nike outfits look pretty nice with the swoosh having the black outline. I just think it looks nicer. Um, but the Adidas collections, I think, the best this year.
Yeah, and let's see if the for the first time in this match, Zheng can put Sabalenka under some pressure and serve. I guess there was this 130-all
Hmm.
game, but still that was far away from a break. So she needs
Yeah.
to do another. She needs to achieve another impossible feat here in order to keep herself in the match.
Hmm. There's a new dampener for Qinwen. Both players, by the way, they have the exact same sponsors. Interesting. They were in the same outfit too. I think so. Was it a bit different? Serve out wide and serve plus one winner from Sabalenka. Serve out wide in the backhand cross court. 15 love, just the start she would have hoped for. And as we know, Sabalenka's a little infamous for being shaky in these moments. Um, can just pull up the score again. I think everyone had a look at what Iga had to say. So it's 15 love. Sabalenka is serving. She's missed the first serve. Second serve from Sabalenka. 15 love. Gets it in. And she misses the backhand off the Qinwen backhand return. Backhand goes sailing wide. Definitely looking tight there. 15 all.
Yeah, maybe winning that previous game, obviously saving match point, will be something that Zheng can use to give herself some sort of a chance here.
Yep. So out wide, misses. Second serve. That's the thing I always, wonder about tennis. As opposed to every other sport, when you say the match is about to end, with tennis you
Mm-hmm.
can't definitively tell it's about to end. With
There are some others, but yeah, I know what you
oh,
mean.
double fault, 15-30. Because theoretically speaking, in tennis, it's never over until that last game is closed out, right? But then in games like, say, in sports like football or cricket, again,
Yeah.
beyond a certain point, you're just not going to win. Um, Obviously, there's that's a nice forehand inside in winner, much
Ooh.
needed for Sabalenka. um, 30 all. That was the first. I mean, I think this is the most trouble she's been on her own serve. She hasn't even faced break point yet. That's how smooth sailing it's been so far. But again, that can change any moment. You never know. She's serving 30 all. Serve down the tees, just gone long. So it's the second serve from Sabalenka. So out wide, backhand from Sabalenka, forehand from Qinwen goes long, and she's just whacking her shoe with her racket in frustration because she sensed that was a pretty decent opportunity to salvage something. It was a clear exhibition of relief from Sabalenka there. Here's another match point, first on her own serve. Serve from Sabalenka, the backhand from Qinwen, backhand from Sabalenka, backhand from Qinwen. Zheng misses. Sabalenka raises her fist. She gets the job done, and she is through to her fifth consecutive Grand Slam semi-final, third consecutive at the U.S. Open. Well, that was there. So what Damien feared was true.
Yeah.
It was hardly a contest. I mean, as one-sided as a match can be for the scoreline. Um, no break points seen whatsoever by Qinwen, and Sabalenka just got out of some potential sticky situation, a couple of service games where she was 15-30, 30 all, but got out of it comfortably. Really was no match. And Aryna Sabalenka stood to the semifinal. I mean, this is impressive, right? I mean, we're talking about a player who, until 2 years ago, did not make it past the fourth round at slams, and since then, she's made it to week two at better at every slam except for two. Except I would say the Australian Open and RG last year. She didn't play Wimbledon, of course, as we know. But
yeah, and we're also talking of a player with like a very inconsistent play style. But suddenly it's not. And yeah, just like we mentioned, like even when she was making the semis at every slam this year, there were some moments of well, I don't know if a scare because at the French, it was only really that much against Stevens, but there was a moment there when you thought that maybe she's actually going to lose it, despite going up 5-love initially. At Wimbledon, she had that one against Gracheva in the second round, where she was very close to going out. In Australia, maybe not so much, but still, Bencic pushed her, Linette pushed her. And here, it's really looking like, I mean, no one has any shot. This is the closest it's been to this is definitely the Australian Open. Where it was really only Bencic until the semis that got anywhere close, and it was also because Bencic was also one of the main contenders. I don't know if for the title, but for in order to go very deep. So,
yeah,
it was just a nasty draw.
Yeah. Wait, you're talking about the Australian Open this year, right?
Yeah, I'm talking about the Australian Open this year. That it's the closest Sabalenka, I think, was to this sort of form. I don't know if I think these are comparable. I just think Bencic was probably a stronger opponent than anyone that she has faced so far here. And obviously she won the Australian Open and was actually great in pressure moments later on, which is something that she couldn't replicate at Wimbledon at the French.
True. So semi-final, much like Novak Djokovic, only player to make the semis or better at all four slams in the season. That's really impressive. Not seen this. When was the last time we saw this from a player on the WTA tour? I can't think of it. Maybe we have to go back to Serena's days. Like
it would be hard to get that. Yeah.
2015, 2016, of course. Wait, 2016, Serena lost early. No. Yeah, in US Open, she lost early, didn't she? I know she won. She lost the final of AO and RG, won Wimbledon. Did she lose to? Who did she lose to? Pliskova? Not Pliskova, someone else.
Yeah, Pliskova, but that would be a semi. So.
That was a semi.
Yeah, that was a semi. Yes, Pliskova.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, so I guess that was the last time because obviously
possibly, yeah. We haven't checked that, but possibly, yes.
Off the top of my head, I think that's what it is. 19, I can't. I mean, again, I can't think of any player. 18, also, I can't think of a player who won the Australian. Wozniacki, Halep.
Yeah, Halep could have had a run like this, right? Maybe.
Halep lost early at the US Open for quite a few consecutive. I know
Yeah,
18.
and that was what stopped her in 2018, I guess, right? Because that
Yeah,
would.
yeah. She
Oh no,
lost.
actually at Wimbledon she also didn't go deep. So I guess Halep didn't have a shot at this sort of achievement at any point really in her career.
Yeah,
No,
Muguruza neither. I don't
no,
think.
no, definitely not.
Definitely not. Yeah. Um, who else? Kerber? No, Kerber lost first round RG. So
Yeah,
in 2016. So I don't
Kerber
think.
would usually lose at Roland Garros quite early.
Yeah, she basically did a Wawrinka of 2014 that year, win the Aussie Open.
Who did she lose to at the French?
I don't remember. I know that she made the final in Wimbledon, won US
Mis-
Open.
yes. Misaki Doi was the player that she had to save a match point against at the Australian Open, right?
Uh,
So it's not the French, because that's what got into my mind. But I will check that. Oh, Kiki Bertens, yes, obviously.
but right, that makes
Yeah,
sense.
yeah, and Kiki reached the semis. I remember that was someone like who, in hindsight, is gonna be not looking like a bad loss, but
Hmm.
could not remember who it was.
Yeah, Serena in
Um,
21. Wait, did Serena play US Open in 21 and who? She didn't play, right? Or did she?
I can't tell you right now. 21 is Stevens. I mean, sorry, Stevens, Raducanu Fernandez. I mean, she definitely wasn't in the semis.
Yeah, I know that. And I know she lost fourth round at RG, and early in Wimbledon she got injured. Was it the first round?
Yeah, I mean, it takes ridiculous consistency, really.
Mm.
Just when we're sitting here, right, thinking about some of these players, and like
Yeah, Nolan
Muguruza,
will talk
Halep,
about.
they've
Mhm.
never been close.
Yeah,
Four semifinals in a year at the
yeah.
Slams. Who was the
Not
last one?
Osaka, not Shiontek, not who
Yeah, I
else?
think it has to be Serena. Yeah.
Definitely not Barty. She never made past the fourth round at US Open.
Yeah, the US Open. Basically, there's no one who even had an attempt at this
Yeah,
after Serena, it seems.
yeah,
So
yeah.
that's pretty ridiculous for sure. On the men's side, I guess this year you could argue that maybe Alcaraz would have done it too,
Yeah,
if he
good.
played the Australian Open. But we don't know that. We didn't know that. So
Yeah. We,
he would
I
have
don't know.
been number one seed, I guess, right? So he would have. Well, then it's completely different then, because Nadal. Yeah, we couldn't really say that because then Djokovic is not even in that spot in the draw, so we can't even say that he would have had an easy quarter because that's not guaranteed, or an easy half because that's not guaranteed. But yeah, that is an even more monumental achievement now that I think of it than I initially
Mhm.
believed. Certainly, and. Yeah, also as a player who before this year was not consistent at all,
Yeah.
and in the best of three format too, it's just really tough to do, tough to pull off some of these. Yeah, Halep, Kerbers, it's very consistent players, right? And yet they never really came close to something like that. And she has also like the last two Wimbledons, she reached the semis. The last three U.S. Opens by now, she reached the semis.
Hmm.
And yeah, a title here almost guarantees her the word number one. Almost.
Yeah. Um, because of course, I don't think she has anything to defend before until the end of the season. Uh,
Our friend, I actually someone was faster than you. I just saw.
oh,
uh,
oh, oh no.
I don't know who
That's
that was. I think maybe it was Bastia. Yeah, I
yeah,
think so. Yeah, and but at least he confirms that it's Serena 2016. So
right.
our like research is not wrong, which wasn't really
Yeah.
research at all, right? We
Yeah, I
just
mean, I like to make these estimates, and I think usually it's accurate, especially because you usually follow the slams closely on
Mhm.
both tours, and
Yeah,
at
I
least
usually overthink it and like spend hours making sure that a stat is right.
right. Yeah, I also do. These are things obviously where it could potentially blow up. You don't want it to be wrong, but
Exactly.
yeah,
That's why. Or like even not even if it's gonna blow up. Like if it's a random stat about whoever, I don't know, Kaito Uesugi, then I still don't want to be called out and have to say, oh my bad, I failed at the research.
Yeah, I'm gonna put out this tweet, which hopefully no one else has put out. The picture of Djokovic and Sabalenka, and you know the caption.
I don't, but well,
I
I
have.
guess it's gonna be for
Yeah,
semis in a year. Okay,
yeah,
I thought it was gonna be more like a meme or something.
yeah.
Yeah, I guess that's where we're gonna be wrapping
Yeah,
this
we
up.
close there. Again, another eventful watch along with you. Pleasure to do this with you as always. Uh, had a
Likewise,
good
it's a
time.
shame we didn't get a longer match.
Yeah, it is. I wish we did, but in any case, um, yeah. And as you can see, the website is glitching. It's showing this match is upcoming when this match is over. I mean, Qinwen and her fans wish it was upcoming, I guess. But
What
I
is
know
upcoming though? What is upcoming though is the other streams that we're gonna have today. Apparently, Medvedev Rublev is not happening, is it?
oh, it
What?
is happening. So I will
Oh, it
be.
is. It is happening actually.
Yeah,
Okay.
it is.
So Medvedev Rublev very soon, and also at night Vondroushova Keys Alcaraz. Zverev. You can see me again on Alcaraz Zverev on the night on the usual night watch at Talking Tennis. So lots of content coming up, and yeah, thank you guys for being here in the chat as
Yeah,
well.
thank you everyone. Thank you, Damien, and hope to see you soon. And you
Yep.
will obviously see Damien for Zverev Alcaraz, if I'm not mistaken,
Yeah.
or is it Zverev Alcaraz, right? So, yeah, see you all soon.
If you enjoyed this video, make sure you hit that like button. Don't forget to subscribe and click that notification bell so you don't miss out on all things tennis.